Retires now at 34 years old with 35 career interceptions. And he's got a new podcast called At Call to the Booth. He announced his retirement. Jared Goff was his first interview, former teammate. Always been outspoken, incredibly raw, very respected by people in the NFL. Wade Phillips loved him. Bill Belichick loved him. And Belichick tried to get him to come back and play for the Patriots. And he said, I just want you to guard tight ends, nothing more. And then Aqib said, no, I see your opponents. There's too many good tight ends. I'm not coming back. So Aqib Talib now joins us from Allen, Texas, where he's got beautiful home and a big family. So Belichick calls you, and he's like, Aqib, and you and Bill, you're Bill's kind of player. You're tough, no nonsense, physical, prepared, you get right in the guy's face. So give me the phone call. What did Belichick say to you?
He just asked me, what? Am I coming? Like, hey, I got a role for you, man. You coming? I'm like, well, what's the role? He kind of explained the role a little bit, and immediately I fell in love with it. Colin. I really was all in, man. And then I let my mental, the whispers, the quiet, you talk to yourself. But I think I really need that. I always do that, man. I always, go through the pros and cons of the situation. And all my thoughts was just so negative about the situation, not the team or anything, just about myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, nah. Once you negative minded like that, man, you're not ready to go. So I never pull up to a situation not ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So, Hey, it is what it is, man. We all get older. We all got to move on. Sometime I think it was just my time.
So it's interesting. You have played in a couple of great teams. So Kansas City is still pretty young. They win a Super Bowl. Now you're everybody's target. Now,
right.
Guys getting paid. Now everybody's feeling it. They're feeling good about themselves. Take me to what it's like to be on a championship level team. You come back into camp. Everybody's a little fat. Everybody feels good about themselves. Is it hard? We don't have very many repeat champions in this league. Was it hard for you? Is it hard for players?
I think the problem is after you win a Super Bowl, Colin, you go back to your hometown and you like the star of your hometown. So everybody's a rock star, right? So for January, February, March, April, May, maybe you lock in June or something. I think guys just really don't lock in the offseason the same way they did before. The same way they did what the year before that made them win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Usually a Super Bowl team, they had an amazing offseason, and that's why they won the Super Bowl. So I think this season was unique because COVID kind of kept guys focused. You can't be in the restaurants and the clubs for March, April, May, June. So I think the Chiefs is going to be just fine. I think the Super Bowl hangover comes from that right there. You do that right there you have a parade for 4 months straight. So you're just not going to be ready to go. But with COVID, Colin, I think guys was in the house. Me as an athlete, I was in the house at COVID. All I did was come to my gym every day. I brought my kids and my nephews to the gym every day. We got it in. So working out was the only thing that we really could do. So, man, I think the Chiefs, COVID kind of saved the Chiefs. And I think they'll be back at it this year, Colin.
Aqib Talib joining us. It's interesting. You know Tom Brady well, and you know his intensity. He's kind of unique. He's just one of these guys that can just play forever. Now he goes to Tampa, a bunch of young dudes, don't have a history of winning, and Tom can bark. Tom can get after you. And if you're not used to it, I want to see Tom working with all these young players, and after a 2-game losing streak, he's barking at the young guys. Do you think Tom could get a little pushback in Tampa?
Nah, they going to love him. I've been around him. Been in the locker room with him, been to war with him. Colin, the guys going to love him, man. They already respect him because he's Tom Brady. Then when he really gets there, he got there now, they really get the chance to see his work ethic, see how smart he is, man, see how good of a guy he is, man. He's not cocky. He's not better than nobody. He just comes and put in the work. So guys respect that, man. I guarantee you his O-line love him. I guarantee you Mike Evans and Godwin, I guarantee you they absolutely love him. They love his work ethic, and they try to be like him, man. So I don't think it'll be any pushback, man. In the league, man, we respect the greats. That's what all guys do. Young guys, old guys, you're going to respect the greats, especially if he's not big-headed and his work ethic is probably the strongest in the building. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to be just fine.
That's right. So immediately with Tom Brady, you were both elite. You were both Pro Bowl. Day 2, he was just your dude. You never doubted him.
Never doubted him, man. I seen the work ethic. He came and talked to me. I pull up I try to get to work early. Tommy is there. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard not to respect what he do, man. He's already won six Super Bowls, numerous Pro Bowls every year, all pros, everything. So it's hard not to respect what he do, man. And when you meet him in person and you get to actually watch that work ethic live, you fall in love with it. So it's football, man. It's a class of 2,000 guys, man. One thing we all do, we respect work. You know what I'm saying? And the guy whose work ethic is top notch, you don't have no choice but to respect that.
Here's something that's interesting. Not everybody reacts the same way to money. Russell Wilson gets money. He puts in the time. Jalen Ramsey's unbelievably talented. I think he's great. But there's been a little pushback in Jacksonville. Last year, I thought he was a little hot and cold. There were games I loved him and games I didn't think he was as engaged. Now right. Jalen's got all the money, all the power, all the leverage. Should I worry all about Jalen? He pushed back on Jacksonville. I thought he disengaged a couple times last year. Not everybody does the same thing when they get $100 million. Are you worried at all about Jalen Ramsey's consistency going forward?
I'm not, man. I'm not, Colin. He's so talented. And I think the best part of Jalen, the best part of his game is he's so competitive. So regardless on how he is with the media or how he is with his coach, when he get on the field and you give him an assignment versus this guy, it's an all-out war. He acts like it's the Super Bowl when he goes against a number one receiver every time. So that competitive edge. That's why I hung my cleats up, Colin, because I'm like, man, I used to have that in me. I'm welcoming all challenges and I'm going to win all challenges. And when I ain't had that no more, I'm like, oh no, that's my strong suit. I think that's his strong suit. So, and as long as he got that, I don't think that'll leave you until you lose a step. Then you be like, damn, can I really compete with these guys? You know what I'm saying? So, long as he got that competitive edge, and he's not going to get no shorter. He's not going to get any skinnier or nothing. He's going to be 6'2", 210 or whatever. So, long as he's that size and he got that competitive edge, man, I'm not worried about him versus number one receiver around the league.
You know, it's interesting. Tom opens up with Drew Brees. It was a very interesting offseason for the Saints. Drew Brees came out. He angered some teammates. He apologized. And the teammates were like, we got your back. But it was a different offseason. It was the first time I've ever seen teammates of Drew Brees outwardly question him. In fact, some were they were angry. And I said at the time, I think Drew's a good dude, but he's a little tone deaf. And the bottom line, if your teammates are out on you, you're in big trouble.
Definitely.
Do you think it's all forgotten? Do you think that Drew, it's over? Like everybody's they brought in Malcolm Jenkins. He's a veteran. Emmanuel Sanders. These are real grown-ups. These guys. But I do is there any lingering? Could there be distractions in New Orleans? You've been in these locker rooms. What do you think?
Colin, the NFL and winning, some teams are just sorry, so who cares what they got going? But NFL and winning teams is so camaraderie driven, man. Those guys is like brothers, honestly. You know what I'm saying? All the teams I've been on and we've been good teams, we was like brothers. The teams where we've been bad teams, it was like after work, I go this way, you go this way. Everybody just, go separate ways. And it's so camaraderie driven, man. I don't know. I don't believe in it. I think it's still some lingering issues there. Some guys might look at Drew. It's still gonna be a bunch of jokes in the locker room. He's gonna have to walk on eggshells about what he said, what he say to the media, what he say in all conversations when the thing come up. So it's so camaraderie driven, man. I expect them to still be a good team, but I just don't expect it to be NFC Championship, Super Bowl type of camaraderie in that locker room. Because the leader, he was out of line. He was out of point blank period. He was out of line. His favorite receiver, his number one guy, checked him for it, and it's always going to be a little something lingering in that background, in my opinion.
Aqib Talib joining us. Good to have him on. By the way, he's got a new podcast with Harrison Sanford. It's called At Call to the Booth. Announced his retirement. Jared Goff interview in his first episode. So, okay, it's another season with the Dallas Cowboys, and everybody loves Dallas, and you just live right up the road from them. And I'm a Philadelphia guy. I always joke about the Cowboys. They're like a house with a plumbing issue, and they don't solve it. They just paint the house.
Right. You know? So just patch it up.
Yeah. They needed a secondary, and they went and got CD Lamb. You know,
but they did get somebody in the secondary, Colin.
Who?
We can't sleep on Trayvon Diggs. We can't. He been in my gym, A plus D1 out here in Dallas, Carrollton. He been in the gym. He been in the lab with myself. And I really got a chance to see him, Colin. I really got a chance to break down his movement and really, he's going to be a star in this league. Remember where you heard it, Colin? Trayvon Diggs is going to be a star in this league. He sent me some clips 2 nights ago. The guy had 5 interceptions in practice. So I think they had almost the best draft in the East, in my opinion, man. You get a guy like CeeDee Lamb, and then you get Trayvon Diggs in the second round. He's going to come in. He's going to start on the other side of Anthony Brown, and he's going to be an impact. I really believe he's going to be an impact because he's a wide-out playing DB, Colin.
All right, so you like the Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys, man. I always like, they always switch off who win. The Eagles won last year. I think the Cowboys will win this year. I think that the offense speaks for itself, man. You add CeeDee Lamb to it, half the time that might take another safety out the box. It's going to help Zeke out. He's really going to be able to get that run game going. I think as long as you run it, I think they're going to run a lot of 11 personnel, kind of like Green Bay did. That Green Bay type style of offense. And I think Zeke could be great in it, man, because it's going to be hard to play single high with those 3 receivers. You can't say I got 3 DBs who can match up with those 3 receivers. So you almost have to play coverage. You almost have to play too high coverage. Excuse me. You almost have to play too high coverage. So, man, I think it's going to help out the run game. I like the Cowboys' defense, man. That front 7 is crazy. And I think that one addition, Trayvon Diggs, man, he'll make enough plays in that secondary to make the Cowboys win some games on defense.
I told Joy, when you first came on the show, I said, Aqib Talib's not going to like me. I'm a loudmouth. He's a tough guy. I'm not a tough. And yet, from the very first minute you have been on the show, I think you're one of my favorite guests. I thought you weren't going to like me because you were a tough guy.
Hey, you could hire me. I don't want to, it could be me, you, and Joy. You know what I'm saying? We could kick it. That's our camaraderie. I think we do great, Colin. I think we have an awesome show. Our rapport is outstanding. How you doing, Joy? I didn't even speak. I'm sorry, Joy. How you doing? I don't do that. I always speak.
Well, I like you because you are incredibly authentic and honest, and most guys aren't. They're protecting buddies and they're protecting stuff, and you don't do that. You're incredibly, as they say, real, and I just love it, and I love having you on, and I hope your podcast crushes, and come on regularly, and we love having you.
Hey, I appreciate it, Colin. It's good to see y'all.
Good to see you. Aqib Talib got a new podcast, retired at 34, 35 career picks. In fact, here's another one. He's got another stat here. In the history of the NFL, he's got 10 interceptions returned for touchdowns. Only 3 players in the league have ever done more than that. Now think about how long the league is. The hell.
Let's go.
That's right. That's good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.